Fluency English Podcast. You can speak fluency and confidently.
Hello and welcome back to the Fluency English Podcast. We are so happy to have you with us today.
Yes, we really are.
This is your space, your time, a little corner of the internet where we can just come together and learn some natural, high-level English by talking about real life.
Yeah, we're not about textbooks here. We are diving into how people actually speak, how they think.
And today...
That's right.
Today we are tackling something that I think is going to make you look at your own hands, your own habits, in a very different light.
It definitely will. Your hands, your nightstand, and honestly, the way you even process the world around you. We're getting into a topic that affects, statistically, almost every single person listening right now.
If you own a smartphone, this one is about you.
It really is.
We're talking about two really specific ideas today. The first is something called the zombie morning.
Ooh.
And the second is what the source material calls the beautiful nightmare of living a full 24 hours without a phone. It almost sounds like a horror movie, doesn't it? The day without a phone.
It really does. It sounds like a modern-day horror story. And for a lot of people, that anxiety, that feeling is completely real.
Yeah.
It isn't just some funny little experiment. For many, it would feel like losing an arm.
For sure.
But before we get into, the scary details, the dopamine, the ghost phones, all of that,
Yeah.
we have a very important promise we need to make to you.
That's right. This is rule number 1 for our chat today. You absolutely have to stay with us until the very end of this deep dive. Don't click away.
And why is that?
Because we have our special word tour all prepared for you.
The word tour is so important. We're going to break down the 5 most critical, most high-impact words from today's conversation. We'll define them, give you context.
We'll practice saying them together so you can actually walk away from this and use them in your own conversations and sound more fluent. You really don't want to miss that.
No, you don't. It's about active learning.
Exactly. We want you to be an active learner, not a passive listener. And while speaking of passive, let's talk about how most of us start our days. Let's get into this idea of the zombie morning.
The zombie morning. It paints a very vivid picture, doesn't it?
It does. But I want to push back on that a little bit just for a second. Is zombie really fair? We're all tired in the morning, right? Is this a real thing, or is it just, you haven't had your coffee yet?
That's a really valid question.
Yeah.
But from what we've seen in the source material we're diving into today, the zombie morning isn't just about being tired.
Okay.
It's not just about needing caffeine. It's a very specific behavioral loop. It's a whole sequence of choices, or maybe a lack of conscious choices.
A lack of choice.
And it all starts with a villain that I think we all know a little too well. The snooze button.
The snooze button. The sources were so specific here. They didn't just say, you hit it once.
No.
They described a whole scene where you hit it 5 times.
5 times. Right. And we need to unpack why that even happens. It's a kind of negotiation, isn't it? The alarm goes off and you immediately start bargaining with the day.
Just 5 more minutes. That's the one. If I can just get 5 more minutes, I'll feel so much better.
But the material we looked at suggests that's a complete lie we tell ourselves.
A physiological lie, even.
It is. It's a physiological lie. And the science behind it, which the sources kind of hint at, is that when you hit snooze, you think you're, topping up your energy.
Right. Getting a little extra rest.
But what you're actually doing is damage. When you fall back asleep for that short window, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your brain tries to start a new sleep cycle.
Okay.
It starts to drift down into that deeper sleep. But then what happens?
BP. The alarm goes off again.
Exactly. You're yanking your brain back out of it. You're shocking it awake right at the moment it was trying to rest again. And this causes a real phenomena. It's called sleep inertia.
Sleep inertia? That sounds heavy.
It is heavy. It's that feeling where your arms and legs feel like they're made of lead, your eyes are burning, your brain just feels like it's full of fog.
I know that feeling.
And it's actually worse. You feel worse than if you had just gotten out of bed the first time the alarm went off.
Wow.
And the source material has a perfect word for this sensation. It's grogginess.
Grogginess. It's one of those words that sounds exactly like what it is. It's got a growl in it. Grogginess.
It does.
It's that feeling of trying to walk through mud, but the mud is inside your head.
That's a great way to put it. So step 1 of this zombie morning is basically self-sabotage. You've used the snooze button to induce this chemical grogginess.
Okay, so you're already starting the day at a disadvantage.
A huge disadvantage. But then the zombie morning moves into phase 2. And this is the part that really separates it from just, being tired. It's the immediate reach.
The reach for the phone.
Yes. The source describes the hand snaking out from under the covers.
Snaking out. That is such a creepy image. It's meant to be,
Mm,
because it implies that it's not entirely voluntary. It's just muscle memory.
right.
You haven't stood up. You haven't had a glass of water. You haven't even really acknowledged that you're awake or said good morning to yourself. You just grab the device.
And then, boom, you're scrolling. The source had this incredible phrase that just stuck with me. It said, "The thumb started to cry inside."
I love that line.
It's funny, but it's also really dark when you think about it. The thumb started to cry inside at the very idea of stopping. That points to something more than just habit. That's dependency.
It absolutely implies dependency.
Yeah.
And let's think about what's happening to your brain in that exact moment. Your cortisol levels, that's your stress hormone, they're naturally higher in the morning to help you wake up.
Okay.
When you immediately blast your eyes with a screen, you're flooding your brain with a chaotic mix of things. A little dopamine from the novelty of the feed, but also a huge dose of stress from all the information. You're just overloading the whole system. The source uses a great word for this. It says, you feel overwhelmed before your feet have even touched the floor.
Yes.
You haven't brushed your teeth yet, and you're already feeling stressed about a work email or some bad news from the other side of the world.
Precisely. And what you're doing is putting your brain into a reactive state. This is a really key distinction. Reactive versus proactive.
Explain that a little more.
Well, in a zombie morning, you are 100% reactive. You're looking at what your boss wants, what the news is yelling about, what your friends did without you. You are letting the outside world set the tone for your internal mood.
That's actually terrifying when you say it like that. You're giving up your own control within seconds of being conscious.
You are.
You're not creating your day. You're just defending yourself against notifications.
And that feeling, that defensiveness, sets the tone for the next 16 hours. You start with this low-grade anxiety. You feel like you're already behind. It's all, who wants what from me?
Okay, so if that's the zombie morning, and it sounds awful, but let's be honest, it's very familiar.
Very familiar.
What's the alternative? Our sources propose a solution. They call it the intentional morning.
The intentional morning. I just love that word, intentional. It implies choice. It implies you have a plan. It implies you're the captain of your own ship.
But I have to admit, when I hear a phrase like intentional morning, I get a little nervous.
Chuckles. How so?
I start picturing someone waking up at 4 a.m. to do an ice bath, then an hour of meditation, and then they run a marathon before breakfast. Is that what we're talking about? Because I can't do that.
No, and that's a great point. We don't want to scare anyone off. The sources here are actually very, very grounded. This is not about becoming a productivity guru or a superhero.
Okay, good.
It's about 3 incredibly simple physical actions.
Let's unpack them then. What's step 1?
Step 1 is probably the biggest hurdle for most of us, and it actually happens the night before.
Ah.
You have to leave your phone in another room.
Whoa. Not just like on the dresser across from the bed. Not just face down on the nightstand.
No, completely out of arm's reach. The source is very firm about this. If it's in the room, that zombie muscle memory is going to win. You'll grab it before you're even fully awake.
So it's about creating friction.
Exactly. You put a physical obstacle between that old habit and its reward.
Yeah.
So, okay, you wake up. You might have a split second of panic because your phone isn't there, but you survive. What's step 2?
What is it?
Hydration. You drink a glass of water.
Okay, that seems almost too simple to be a life hack. Just water.
Just water. But
Right.
think about the biology of it. You've just gone, what, 7-8 hours without any fluids? Your brain is literally dehydrated. Water physically wakes up your metabolism. It clears away that mental fog, arguably better than the blue light from a screen does. It's a signal to your body. Okay, we're starting the engine now.
That makes sense. Okay, so phone in another room, glass of water, and what's step 3? This is the one that sounded almost poetic in the notes.
It is a bit poetic. It's simply looking out the window.
Just looking. For how long?
5 minutes.
5 minutes of doing nothing but looking. In today's world, that feels like an eternity. Why is that step so important?
Because it grounds you in reality.
Right.
The source talks about needing to kickstart the day with your actual life, not with digital noise.
Right.
And there's actually some psychology here about optic flow. When your eyes are allowed to move across a landscape, a horizon, it has a calming effect on the amygdala, which is the fear center of your brain.
Oh, I never knew that.
Staring at a phone locks your eyes in one position. Looking at a window lets them scan the world. It sends a subconscious signal to your brain that says, I am safe. I am here. The world is big and it's okay.
So it's a soft start. It's like warming up a car engine in the winter, instead of just flooring the gas pedal the second you turn it on.
That is the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And this whole intentional morning routine, it's not just a nice little ritual to feel good. It's the training ground.
Training for what?
Because once you can master the first 5 minutes of your day, you might just be brave enough to try the main event of our deep dive.
The day without a phone. The beautiful nightmare.
This is where we really shift gears. We're going to walk through this day hour by hour, just as the source material describes it. We're going to kind of role play what happens to a person, to a brain, when you take away its favorite digital toy for a full 24 hours.
And the experience starts right there, in the bedroom, just moments after waking up. Even if you've done the intentional steps, your body still remembers. And the source describes something it calls the ghost phone.
The ghost phone phenomenon, it is so real. It's that phantom limb sensation.
The source says the hand moves to the bedside table and it finds just air.
Just air. It's like a glitch in the matrix, you know? Your brain runs on predictive models. It predicts, if I reach right, I will feel cold glass, and then I will get a dopamine hit.
Right.
When that prediction fails, the brain sends a little error message up to the front office. Excuse me, where's our screen? Did we misplace it?
It's exactly like when you're walking downstairs and you think there's one more step, but there isn't. You get that little lurch in your stomach.
That's it.
And then the practical problems start hitting you immediately.
Right.
Like, how do you even know what time it is?
This was a really funny detail in the source. They talk about having to look at a real clock on the wall.
A real clock. It's like an ancient artifact, a relic from a museum.
It really highlights how much we've bundled into this one single device. The phone is our clock, our weatherman, our newspaper, our camera, our map.
Everything.
When you take it away, you're suddenly forced to interact with single-purpose objects again. It feels, as the source puts it, like you're living in 1999.
There's a little bit of nostalgia in that, I guess. But then once that wears off, something else starts to settle in, something a bit heavier.
The silence.
The silence. Now, normally we think of silence as a luxury, right? We go to a spa for silence, libraries are silent, we pay for quiet. But the source didn't describe the silence as relaxing at all. They called it intense.
Yes. Loud and heavy was the phrase they used.
How can the absence of sound be loud? That just seems like a contradiction.
It's because we're not used to being alone with our own internal monologue anymore. Think about it. We use podcasts, music, audiobooks, notifications to plaster over every single quiet moment in our day.
We treat silence like a vacuum that needs to be filled.
Exactly. We see it as a problem to be solved. If there's a gap, we fill it with noise.
So when you take all that away?
When you strip it all away, the volume of your own inner world gets turned way, way up. The source mentions suddenly hearing the birds chirping outside, hearing the hum of cars driving by, but the most uncomfortable one, hearing their own breathing.
Oof. That detail gave me chills. Just hearing your own breath. It forces you right back into your own body in a way that's almost jarring.
And with that comes vulnerability. The source says, without the screen, feelings are close to the surface. Meaning, if you're feeling anxious about a work project, normally you'd just scroll through Instagram to numb that feeling. If you're feeling a bit sad, you watch a funny video on TikTok. Without the phone, if you're sad, you just have to be sad for a minute.
There's nowhere left to hide. You have to actually sit with the emotion.
You do.
That's a form of bravery, I think, to just sit there and feel tired or worried or bored without immediately reaching for a distraction.
It really is. It's like building emotional endurance. But the challenge gets even more physical when you have to leave the sort of sanctuary of your quiet home. You have to go out into the world.
Right, the leaving the house ritual. We all have that little mantra we say in our heads, right? Phone, keys, wallet. I physically tap my pockets every single time I leave.
It's the holy trinity of modern life.
Yeah.
Phone, keys, wallet. And if one of those is missing, your whole system feels off balance.
The source compares it to leaving the house without your shoes on, or feeling, quote, unclothed.
It feels genuinely dangerous, like you've been cut off from your lifeline, from safety. And that anxiety leads us directly to what the source calls the elevator test.
Oh, this is so relatable.
I think everyone listening knows this feeling. You walk into an elevator, the stranger gets in with you. The doors close. It's a small, silent metal box. What is the absolute first thing you do?
You pull out your phone, instantly. Even if you know there's no signal, even if you have 0 new messages, you just have to be looking at it.
But why? What's the function of that?
It's a shield, It's a way to signal, I'm busy, I'm important, please don't talk to me. It's a social barrier.
That's it exactly. The
Yeah.
portable do not disturb sign that you hang around your neck. But on the no phone day,
Yeah.
you're completely exposed. You're just standing there.
And the source describes the pure agony of this moment, staring at the numbers, looking at the walls, staring down at your shoes, trying to look anywhere but at the other human being.
But then something happens. A little breakthrough.
A smile.
Just a smile.
A smile at a neighbor. It seems so small, so insignificant.
It does. But in that context, it feels absolutely huge.
It is huge.
It's profound. That smile is a micro-interaction. It releases a tiny bit of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. When we're all buried in our phones, we starve ourselves of hundreds of these little human moments every day. Sociologists have a term for it. It's called being civilly inattentive.
We just politely ignore each other's existence.
Exactly. But without the phone, you're forced back into the community, even for just 30 seconds. You have to acknowledge the other person in the box with you. And this pattern continues when you get to the bus stop, right?
Yes. The bus stop is normally the waiting room of the internet. Physically, you're on a street corner, but mentally, you're on Twitter or Instagram or reading the news.
You're checking likes, you're reading headlines, your body is there, but your mind is somewhere else entirely.
But the source describes this total shift in perception on the phone-free day. Without the digital feed to look at, the eyes start working like a camera lens again, They start noticing details.
Like what?
They saw a little kid who's just playing with a stone, completely absorbed. They saw an old man reading an actual physical newspaper.
The phrase they used for this was just perfect. They said they were finally in the world, not just watching it.
That's the crux of this entire deep dive, isn't it? That single line, the difference between consuming reality through a screen and actually inhabiting it.
Consuming versus inhabiting. I love that phrasing. We are normally professional consumers of content. But on this day, you become an inhabitant of your own life again.
Wow.
And nowhere is that struggle, that shift, more obvious or more difficult than when we try to do deep, focused work or study.
Oh, this section of the source material hit me hard. The part they call the just 1 second lie.
We are all so guilty of this. You're working on something hard, a difficult email, a dense chapter for school, a complicated report. It gets tough. Your brain feels that little pinch of boredom or frustration. And what does it say to you?
It whispers, I'll just check quickly. I'll just see if that one message came through. It'll just be 1 second.
And is it ever just 1 second?
It is never 1 second. It's a black hole. You check that one message, which leads you to check the weather, which leads you to a news article, which has a video, and suddenly 20 minutes have vanished and you've completely forgotten what you were even writing about.
The source has a great term for this. It calls it getting in your own way.
I found that phrase so empowering in a weird way because usually we blame external things. I'm just so busy. There are too many distractions. My boss expects too much.
But if you're the one whose hand is reaching for the phone, then you are the obstacle. And if you're the obstacle...
Then you can also be the solution. You can just move. You can change it. You're actually in control.
Exactly. On the no phone day, that entire destructive loop is severed. You hit that wall of boredom. You instinctively reach for the phone, but it's not there. So what choice do you have?
You have to go back to the work.
You have to push through that moment of boredom. And what you find on the other side of that boredom is focus. True focus.
It's like lifting weights at the gym. The phone is like dropping the weight the second it starts to feel heavy. No phone means you have to finish the repetition. You actually build the muscle of concentration.
And speaking of building muscles, let's talk about the heart muscle. Let's talk about our relationships, because this, for me, was the emotional climax of the entire source material.
The 4 different worlds scenario, the scene was just painted so clearly.
Can you paint that picture for our listeners?
Yeah. So you've got a living room. It's comfortable, nice lighting. You have a family, a dad, a mom, 2 kids. Physically, they are all together. Their knees might even be bumping on the sofa. But where are their minds?
Gone. Miles away. Dad is reading news from another country. Mom is answering work emails. The kids are in their own worlds, Minecraft or TikTok. 4 bodies in one room. 4 separate universes.
It is the ultimate paradox of our time, isn't it? We've engineered these incredible machines to connect us to the entire planet.
Yet they often isolate us from the people sitting right next to us.
We practice something called phubbing, phone snubbing. We snub the people we claim to love the most for the approval of strangers on the internet. We prioritize what's distant over what's present.
But on the no phone day, that option is just gone. And the source describes what happens next as the connection experiment.
It starts so simply. It starts with eye contact. When you don't have a screen to stare down at, your eyes naturally wander up and they seek out other eyes. It's a biological impulse. We are social creatures.
And what comes after eye contact?
Conversation, real conversation, not just the logistical stuff like, did you take out the trash or what do you want for dinner?
No.
But the real questions. How was your day really? Show me that picture you were drawing.
And the source details this one specific evening scene around a cup of tea. And this is where that vulnerability we talked about earlier, the kind that comes from the intense silence, it finally pays off. The main person in the story didn't just chat. The source says they poured their heart out.
They admitted that they were tired. And not just, I need to go to sleep tired, but tired of the performance, tired of the pressure to always be on, to be online, to answer messages immediately, to be funny and clever.
That is a terrifying thing to admit out loud. But because there were no phones, nobody in the room could escape the moment. Nobody could look down and retreat into their screen. The family had to actually listen.
And their reaction wasn't judgment, it wasn't boredom or annoyance, it was just, I feel like that too.
That is the moment of connection. That is pure empathy.
Yeah.
And you cannot automate empathy. You can't get it from a like button. It requires presence. It requires looking at another person's face and truly hearing them.
It makes you realize that the phone so often acts as a safety blanket.
That's the exact term the experts in the source used, a safety blanket. Just like a little kid carries around a teddy bear. We carry our phones to self-soothe.
When we feel bored, we grab it.
When we feel socially awkward, we grab it.
When we feel sad, we grab it.
It numbs us. It smooths out the peaks and valleys of real life into one long, flat line of endless scrolling.
So the conclusion of this whole beautiful nightmare isn't that technology is evil. We're not sitting here saying everyone should go throw their iPhone into the ocean and move into a cabin in the woods.
No, absolutely not. These devices are incredible tools. They literally hold the sum of all human knowledge in your pocket. They're miracles of engineering. But the conclusion is about awareness. It's about waking up.
Waking up from that zombie state.
And realizing that living a half-life, half your mind in the room, half your mind in the screen, is a choice. And you can choose differently. You can choose to leave the phone in the other room. You can choose to look out the window for 5 minutes. You can choose to look your partner or your child in the eye during a conversation.
The best parts of our lives, that little smile in the elevator, the moment of deep focus at work, the honest conversation over tea, they're all right there in front of us. We just have to look up from the screen to see them.
That's it. It all comes back to being intentional.
Wow. What a journey from the grogginess of the morning all the way to that deep connection in the evening. This really was a deep dive.
It was. And I hope, as you're listening to this, you're maybe looking at that little black rectangle in your pocket or on your desk with a little more suspicion, but also a little more feeling of control.
For sure. But hey, we're not done yet. We can't let you go. We made a promise right at the very start of our chat.
We certainly did. We promised to help make you smarter, not just keep you entertained. So I think it's time.
It is time for the word tour.
This is the part of the show where we lock in the learning. We have pulled 5 key words from the intentional morning source material. These are the words you really need to know to talk about this topic fluently.
So here's how it works. Our expert is going to give the word and then a clear definition. And I want you, yes you, listening right now, maybe on the bus or cooking dinner, to repeat the word out loud after us.
It's so important. It triggered muscle memory in your mouth, and it really helps with retention. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. Word number 1. This is the main villain of the zombie morning.
The word is snooze button.
Snooze button.
This is defined as the button on your alarm clock that lets you sleep for 5 or 10 more minutes. It's the button of procrastination. Let's say it together. Snooze button.
Perfect. Okay, word number 2. This is the physical feeling you get as a consequence of using that snooze button.
The word is grogginess.
Grogginess.
This is defined as the feeling of being sleepy, slow, and maybe a little uncoordinated in the morning. It's that brain fog. Let's say it slowly. Grogginess.
Word number 3. This describes the state of your brain when you check your phone and all its notifications too early in the day.
The word.
Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
This is defined as the feeling that you have too much stress, too much information, or too many things to do all at once. It's the feeling of drowning in data. Let's repeat it. Overwhelmed.
Fantastic. Word number 4. This is the solution. This is the goal for a better morning.
The word is Intentional.
This is defined as doing something on purpose, with a clear plan, not by accident, not just out of habit. It's about living by choice. Repeat after me. Intentional.
And finally, our fifth word. This is what those simple actions like drinking water and looking out the window do for your day.
The word is kickstart.
Kickstart.
And this is defined as giving something energy to start working quickly and effectively, like kicking an old motorcycle engine to bring it to life. Let's say it one more time. Kickstart.
Snooze button, grogginess, overwhelmed, intentional, kickstart. 5 powerful words to help you reclaim your morning.
But now comes the final step. We need you to put this into practice. We have a challenge for you.
This is our favorite part. We want to hear from you directly. We want you to pause this audio and go to the comment section right now.
Don't overthink it. Just do it.
And we want you to write one simple sentence. Just tell us what time you woke up today. And here's the test. We want you to try and use either the word snooze or the word grogginess in your sentence.
Just one sentence is all it takes. It could be something like, I woke up at 7 a.m. today and felt a lot of grogginess. Or maybe, I hit the snooze button 4 times this morning.
We read every single comment. It's how we connect with this community, and it proves you are not a zombie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So please, go leave that comment, and maybe tonight, you can try leaving your phone in the kitchen. Just for one night. See what happens.
Thank you so much for diving deep with us today on the Fluency English Podcast. We will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.